Welcome back, everybody, to the Three Amigos podcast. Just Chris here doing a solo episode about MLB The Show 24. This is not really something I thought I would be talking about again. I did my initial episode about the game before it came out and just how it didn't seem like it was headed in the right direction. They had a really weird, secretive marketing cycle where they barely mentioned anything about the game, and then when people complained, they released blog posts about stuff that people would seem to prefer videos and just a little bit more visual information. And then again, the game came out, and a lot of this is Diamond Dynasty based because so much has already been said about MLB The Show with its graphics and franchise mode and all of the things that have just slowly deteriorated over the years. And, Diamond Dynasty was typically something that was fine. The content was always pretty good. I have a really soft spot in my heart for MLB 20 because that was the COVID year. And I think I have 1,300 hours logged on that game. And the content, Diamond Dynasty in that game was fantastic. MLB 21 I liked a lot as well. And when 22 was announced and they started going over some of the things that, were going to be featured in the game, and it just seemed like it was very copy and paste, which I get, it's a sports game, comes out every year. But, that was the first year that it felt very copy and paste. And so I took the year off, didn't play MLB 22. And then looked at some gameplay for 23 when they were going in the marketing cycle, and honestly was not that impressed with that game either. And ended up picking it up about halfway through the year when it went on sale. And I enjoyed it halfway through the year because there was a lot of content in the Diamond Dynasty mode by then. And it was pretty fun. One of people's complaints, though, was that there were 99s in the game from day one. And it just sort of ruined the idea of upgrading your team because you were swapping out, one 99 player for another, even though different cards played differently, even if they're all the same rated. It's hard to argue that when you release a bunch of 99s all the time, it just doesn't feel very special, and you don't really give people a reason to mess with their team structure very much. Well, MLB 24 did bring back the power creep, which a lot of people have been asking for. And it's always a little annoying whenever a game takes something out and then puts it back and act like it's a new idea. But I didn't pick up MLB 24 because I just wasn't getting a vibe that it was going to be worth it. I play on PlayStation, so it's a $70 purchase. If I played on Xbox, maybe I would have tried it out, but to be honest, and I'm still in the community. I still get, I watch some YouTube videos about the game and check on the Reddit and all that, but there started to become a really worrying trend, and basically this game, which was very friendly to no money spent, which when you already bought the game, feels like you should be a little bit friendly to people that buy a full price game and then feel like they should get the content that they paid for. But MLB 24 and Diamond Dynasty has gone fully pack heavy. There were times in the past where new content would be in a program, something that you could play and earn rewards, and that's how a lot of the progress in the game worked. And this year, from the outside, someone that's not playing the game, I've never seen it this bad. This is I almost want to say 180, even though last year you sort of started to see it with chase packs and all the best players being locked behind those. But the programs, they started out a little bit shaky, but I'd say by the end of the game, they were pretty good. There were several programs last year that were really well done and felt rewarding to complete. And then this year, there are hardly any programs. Game's been out for what's going on almost a month. If you're factoring in early access, which is a whole other scam, but that's it's a different time of episode. And not many programs in the game, but let me tell you, as I follow MLB on Twitter, they release packs into this game like it seems like a couple times a week. And not just, headliner packs. Like those have always been part of the game. But like expensive premium packs that give you a chance to get the best player, although you could get the base round, which means your money is wasted. It also sounds like this year's stubs are a lot harder to come by, which just everything combined sounds like they are not interested in the no money spent players anymore. And I get it. Ideally, you want people to spend money, but MLB The Show is not a live service game. This is not a free-to-play game that you download and just hop in and then maybe you drop a few dollars here, a few dollars there. This is a game that a majority of the people are paying full price for. This is a game that they went out of their way to sell a $125 like premium edition of the game. I mean, this really feels like the end. I don't know. SDS definitely seems tone deaf at times, and it's hard to really figure out how much of this is MLB's input and Sony's input, because you have to think that if it was up to the devs, they would just be releasing content into the game and enjoying that part of it. Releasing packs is not content. Packs are not content. That's just packs. It's just gambling. Like it's not interactive content for you to enjoy. And this is brutal. I mean, I love MLB The Show, and I think that, maybe there's going to come a time when they're able to turn this around. I don't think it's going to be this year, and that's worrying because it's April and the game just came out. And, for those that don't know, they plan out the content pretty far in advance. I don't know if they necessarily plan out the entire year because they have to allow for, just different things happen. Baseball's a weird sport. Somebody throws a no-hitter. Somebody who's really good gets injured, and then they won't get a finest card at the end of the year, stuff like that. But they plan out the content, the way they're going to release it. And they planned out lots of packs, and I've never seen this many packs before. They released a pipeline program, which is basically just reskin Future Star program. Or not a program. A pack. A pipeline pack. This is something that they posted about. They hyped it up like it was a brand new thing, super big deal. And in the past, that would have been a program. And this year, it's just a pack, which just feels like the least engaging type of content that you could possibly be releasing. And it feels very low effort. And also, from the outside looking in, as somebody that didn't buy the game at launch, this is not making me want to buy the game. I mean, I admittedly, was a big-time franchise guy back in the day, moved into Diamond Dynasty, really enjoyed the team-building aspect of Diamond Dynasty. I really enjoyed the grind of Diamond Dynasty. From what I'm seeing, there is no grind. There's nothing to do in the game. I mean, it's hyperbole, obviously, but there are a few programs. Ideally, you'd be releasing one program every week. I mean, because without programs, there's not that much to do. Maybe it'll get a little better with like Player of the Month, but even then, the Player of the Month, which used to be a huge content drop for them, is now a pack-focused mini grind that they don't give you, a Player of the Month pack or whatever. Which those cards hadn't been in packs for years. It was something that the community complained about for a long time, and they took them out of the packs and they made a program out of it, and now they're back in packs. The best Player of the Month cards are in packs. And what makes this all worse is that the power creep is back. They found a way to ruin the power creep, because now you're essentially asking people to buy a pack that's expensive. These packs, I mean, I could probably go back and I feel like there was a time when these packs were like $25K, $20K. And now they're like 40,000 stubs, which, for those that don't know, the conversion of stubs in MLB The Show, I think it's something like 67,500 stubs. It's like 50 or 60 bucks. And so, if you're, doing the math on this, these packs in terms of real world money are crazy expensive. These are like $30, $40 packs, which guarantee nothing. There's a chance you pull garbage, and, you know, quick sell value doesn't make you anywhere close to your money back. And this is brutal. I feel bad, kind of, for the people that buy the game every year, although I think that really, unless you do become somebody who stops buying the game yearly, this type of thing won't change. This is the reason that FIFA and Madden do so much pack-related content where they don't really give a shit about no money spent or, you know, any of that kind of stuff. And I just didn't think that I would see SDS become the same as those games, right? You know, it's crazy to think that EA and SDS are now being mentioned in the same sentences. And you know, when I made my initial video, one of my complaints that was that none of the MLB content creators were talking about how the game was in a weird spot. And I get it. Some of them I understand because they get the free game from SDS every year. They don't want to ruin that relationship. But if you don't talk about these issues, then it really is just state-run propaganda. Like, you're in a position where you're never going to call them out on any of the bullshit. And right now, this is a lot of bullshit. Packs are not content. And the game, to me, from the outside, looks really boring. I'm always on the fence, you know, if I skip a release of MLB, because I used to buy it every single year. I used to save up, or my mom would chip in a little bit to help me get it. And, you know, and I'm looking at it now, I'm just like, this I don't even think has to do with the price anymore. I just think the game looks boring. I think that they didn't add enough new legends, and so even the content they're releasing is like, oh, look, it's the same guy you grinded to parallel last year. Like, yeah, I mean, you know, everybody has their favorite players, but like, damn, it's already a yearly sports game. Like, could you make it feel any more stale by literally releasing the same cards? Like, today, for example, they released a pack that I think is called like MLB Throwbacks or Classics or something. Literally, cards that were in previous games that they are re-releasing, not in a program, because MLB Classics sounded like it would have made a great program. It's a pack. Not only is it a pack, it is a pack of old cards. This is not even like, this is the laziest form of pack content that I have ever seen. This is pack content of cards that they just ported over from previous years. And to make it worse, you know, they're releasing Team Affinity this week, the new phase or whatever, which they completely ruined Team Affinity from. They had it perfect. They had it absolutely perfect in MLB 21, and somehow totally ruined it. I think they took it out of 22, and then when they put it back in 23, it was a fucking brutal grind, and now they broke it up into 3 different phases per season. I don't know, why are they doing this? Like, MLB 20, I remember the only issue with content is that there weren't enough program bosses. I felt like instead of 3, there should be 5. It felt like there should be more variety in the program bosses. That was it. That was the only complaint. MLB 21, the content was good, and then they brought in this sets and seasons bullshit, and that has completely fucked the way that they do content in this game forever. I mean, based on the changes they made this year with sets and seasons, you're going to be going right back to 85 overalls in June when season 1 is over. And I'm going to be honest, I think that's when people are going to be like, fuck this shit. The power creep worked because it started in, you know, March, April, and literally built into like July is when you'd get like 99s. And then after that, everything was like 99s, maybe a 98 here or there, relievers, they're weighted a little bit differently. But fucking starting over, first of all, taking away majority of the cards you earned in season 1, especially like most of the good ones. You're not going to be able to use them in season 2 when it starts. And then in season 2, they're going to start you off with like low 80s. Dude, I don't see how this fucking works. And it's like 4 seasons. So they're gonna be like fucking releasing 87s in November. Holy shit, man. I mean, this pack shit, the way the content is structured in Diamond Dynasty this year. And I'm gonna be honest, like a lot of these creators that I still watch, dude, they look dead. They just look like they're dying inside. I'm trying to imagine you build your whole career off playing this game, and then the game just takes a fucking nosedive, and like MLB is not FIFA. It's not Madden. It's never going to be as popular as those games. And the one thing that they had on those games, same as like NBA 2K, the one thing they had on all those other sports games was that they cared about the people playing it. They gave a shit about the community. And a lot of the people that work for SDS used to play MLB The Show and were in those communities and made videos. And now they're no different. Now they're just chucking packs, putting them up in the store. You know, seemingly no more programs. I mean, Jesus Christ. Events, events go every 2 weeks, which is like, fucking, dude, this shit looks so lame now. Like, what happened to this game? This is so sad. And, you know, I think that there was a time where I was like, all right, well, maybe I'll do what I did last year, like wait till June or July, All-Star Game, whatever. There'll be a sale. I'll pick it up for $30. Maybe by then there'll be more content in the game. But the way that this is all structured, it's a 3-month cycle. And so, like, I don't want to fucking be playing with 85 overall, you know, whatever in June. Like, the whole point of power creep is that it progressively gets better. And now they're at a point where they've somehow built the content around this, and they're gonna dude, all of the drops that they have done so far with packs, if this does not open your eyes to what the rest of the year is going to look like, with all of those things we waited for, right? Postseason content, finest content, all-star content. Get ready. It's all going to be packs. It's all going to be packs. Like, and they did like some finest pack stuff back in the day, and like they've done packs before, but it was always like not that often. It felt like a big deal too. It was like, oh, new pack, rare round, you know, base round, mid tier, all that stuff. Now it's every week. It's like packs aren't special anymore. They somehow in 3 weeks made new packs not special. And this game is in a weird spot. And, you know, to everybody playing it, I hope you're having fun, because it's going to be like this for literally the entire year.